brothers and sisters, but they're not here, and I just have the one son. So when they decided to build a house, they said they would build a house and have an outlaw suite. I mean, an in-law suite for me. I say outlaw.
I think outlaw fits better.
I think so too. And I just love it. Absolutely love it. I would take this wall and push it out 2 feet if I could to make this table more utility type, but that can't be done, so I'm sufficing. And I love it here. I'm in the woods. The other morning I got up and was fixing my breakfast. I looked out the front window and there's 2 or 3 deer walking across the driveway. It's nice.
So what are you working on right now? What are all these pretty red fabrics?
Okay, remember a couple of years ago, the 2 girls that came at Christmas time and they introduced us to this book about Mrs. Santa Claus made quilts from Santa's old suits. So I had one left. I made 3 quilts last year. And this year I had 1 book left. And my daughter-in-law has a niece that has 2 boys and a girl, and they're young. And I gave her the book and asked her to read it to see if she would like to have one of these for her kids. So the last 3 we made, I'm sorry, I can't remember. The last 3 we made were patchwork, you know, they were more like an I Spy quilt, and just in blocks, and with the Santa Claus suit in it. This time we're just making a rag quilt because the kids like to lay around on the floor, watch TV. So I have a whole bunch of pieces of flannel and I'm cutting them into 8-inch blocks, and we're just going to make it easy and simple and put it together. And then Trish said she'd help cut the fringe, which is good. Yeah. Arthritis doesn't like me. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite tool in your quilting studio? You have your Bernina sewing machine.
I have this. This is it.
This is it?
This is it. I do not like sewing on others, but, and then rulers, you know, you gotta have rulers.
Gotta have rulers.
And I think my favorite tool, though, is the fabric.
So what do you like about fabric?
I like to feel it. I love the colors. When I went to Maine this year, I just fell in love. Wait, I gotta show you this. I just fell in love with this one fabric, and I said, I have to have that. So I bought this fabric, and I'm all set. I just need one more piece of fabric to go with it. And I said, this I fell in love with. It is just so pretty. And it's called Flower Party. And then I have
watercolor.
These 3 pieces to go with it. And I need a green. I haven't found a green that I like. That's too light. This I like to go with it, but
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's all I got.
You may not have enough.
I don't have enough. So I'm going to go to Cleveland. Is it Cleveland? For Quilt and Caboodle?
Mm.
Oh,
yes.
That store's nice.
Yes.
And I'll take this all with me, and I'll see if I can't find something to go with it. The green.
Do you have an idea of what pattern you're going to use?
Oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing. It's called Happy Trails, and I have to show you this. This is the basic fabric, and then you use the colors to go around the blocks.
Those big blocks will be pretty in that fabric.
And then this you can't tell by looking at it what it looks like because the colors are too dark. So that's the best way to show it. And I'm hoping that I have enough that I can make it big enough for my bed.
That'll be gorgeous. Nice, bright, happy colors.
Yeah. And if you noticed, looking over there and around here, you don't see many dark colors. I am not a dark color person. I like red. I think red is my favorite color.
It fits you.
Barbara Sanders said, I'm either jealous of something or I'm just happy. And I says, red's a happy color. So it has to be happy.
That was good.
Okay.
It was fun talking to her. She's always a hoot.
She is. She is happy.
Yeah.
That's
Don't see
very
her.
nice. Yes. Everybody send her an email saying thanks for doing the program. Appreciate it. So, and we want to thank Frances for doing the video and figuring out how to play it back for us. So I'll have to find out from her how to do that.
What we were having trouble with was having the sound work. And I Googled it and found out there's one little box that you check when you're sharing the screen is all you have to do and the sound works. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have
Fine.
two.
Box though, that's a deal.
We have two show and tell pictures that Jody sent me last night. And if y'all want to look at those, I'll pop them up real quick.
Yeah.
Is Jody on?
Yes. Let me share this.
Oh, there you are down at the bottom. Okay. Hey, Jody.
Let's see. Let me get back.
Oh, nice.
Pretty.
You want to tell us about it, Jody?
Well,
Say.
this quilt, a few months ago, I think it was just before Christmas, I asked Frances if she would show the quilt that my grandson Alex made when we were living in Boston for 3 months. And I was supposed to come, but I didn't make it that night. And this is the quilt, and I quilted it. He wanted Minky. I tried to talk him out of it, but it worked out great. And of course, all the pieces that I cut out for him to make the quilt was just scraps. So I didn't have anything to use for a binding. So I chose the little check there. And I think it turned out really nice. And I sent him several designs, like about 10 or 15 designs about things that I knew he liked, and asked him to pick what he wanted. And he picked Grandma Loves Me. So I was thrilled.
That's sweet.
And I mailed it to him today.
Wonderful.
Is it Minky on the back?
Yeah, that's Minky.
I like to quilt on.
Yeah, it quilts really well on a long arm because it's pull taut, and it's easy to pull it. And I read that it's better to put it on at the selvage because it'll keep it from stretching.
And then you also.
How big is it? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, how big is it, Jody?
It is about 45 by 56.
Good size.
That's about all he would sew. And what he did was he sewed all the blocks together in a strip. That's him. And then when we got we had to sew the strips together, he had a little more trouble sewing. So I pinned them for him, and then he sewed them. And where he got off on the edges, I took it out and he re-sewed it because I didn't want him to have any stressful events with it because I was afraid he wouldn't want to do it anymore. So I did all the hard stuff, and he did just the sewing. And I worked with him for 2 days, teaching him how to sew a straight line. And he practiced for hours doing his straight lines and how he was supposed to not watch the needle, but to watch the presser foot and keep his eye on where he was going. And he did a great job. I was real pleased at how well they came together.
Yeah. That
I
looks
think
great.
a lot of us could use some instruction on how to sew a straight seam.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks great.
That's great.
Thank you.
How old is he?
He is 7. He turned
Wow.
7 in June, and he kept asking me if I would let him sew, and so I cut the squares out of a bunch of scraps my daughter had in a box, and in the end, he was very picky about the ones that he would use, because I thought he'd just pick them up and sew them, you know. He picked them out and put them in there the way he wanted. He did not, he wouldn't use real children ones. He wanted those bright orange and red colors. Orange is now his favorite color.
It's a good color. It
This-
is. So, I honestly didn't see the show and tell part at the bottom, so I was thinking we were doing that in 2 weeks. So maybe we'll get some more pictures next in the 2 weeks.
Yeah, the next Zoom meeting will be on the 23rd, and we'll do a show and tell then. Do a big show and tell.
Okay. Anybody have any comments or anything else to say? It's nice to see everybody, and I'm sorry you can't see me. That wasn't on purpose. I just don't. I'm hoping that restarting my computer will fix the problem. But it is nice to sit here and pick my teeth and nobody can see.
I can see you. No, just kidding.
Yeah. So it's nice to see everybody and pay your dues, read your newsletter. And I guess we'll see you in 2 weeks. I don't know,
Sounds good.
Hope so.
tap dance or something. I think we're done.
We
Thank you
can-
all for organizing this and keeping us going.
Yeah, it's really great that you're doing that. It's been helpful, and that's 7 o'clock is a hard time for me to come, but I'm gonna try real hard.
Good.
Is that a work time or why is 7 hard?
Well, my husband eats late, and we eat about 7, so I had to eat. And
Yeah, I understand. And in the summer, I'm still walking the dogs or playing with them or whatever, but yeah. If we get too much later, then people are on to other things and we just,
or asleep.
yeah. So thank you, everybody, for coming. And like I said, call somebody, reach out, say, how are you? When I called around about that program before, was it Francis? I guess when Francis was going to talk and I called everybody, there were a few people that seemed really glad to get a phone call. So